Hey everybody. So the big news story right now is we have a convicted felon running for president. On Thursday, Donald Trump was convicted on 34 counts of paying hush money to American hero Stormy Daniels in New York City. Um, and all the news and all the political jibber jabber right now is that we are in unprecedented political waters, that we are just in uncharted territory as a country, and that's not untrue. This has never happened before. We've managed to get give or take 250 years without having a convicted felon in the Oval Office. So, I thought it would be a good idea to ask the universe about the state of the race for campaign 2024. So, I have my trusty Rider-Waite deck right here. We're going to do a basic 5-card draw just to get some insight into how things stand right now, sort of from a metaphysical macro perspective. So let's shuffle these cards up. You know, I was tempted to do 34 shuffles for 34 guilty convictions, but YouTube limits me to less than 15 minutes for my first video, so we're gonna do and one more. Okay, so our first card is the Hanged Man. Okay, probably the most famous card in the tarot deck. Maybe Death is probably more well known, but if someone's reading cards in a movie, chances are their spread gonna have the Hanged Man in it. And besides, hanging things upside down is so current right now. So the Hanged Man, Mike Pence. Because let's face it, the story of the Hanged Man is a truth teller whose friends and neighbors didn't like the truth he was telling, so they hanged him. And you can tell that he was right by the nimbus, or the halo, and Mike Pence certainly thinks that he wears a halo. So, this is a card about looking at things from a different perspective. He sees things for the Hanged Man sees things for the way that they are, versus the way that you may want them to be. So looking at things in a different way. Our next card is the Fool. So the Fool is not a fool, but the fool, as the medieval people, the holy fool, the holy innocent, or maybe a trickster type figure. He's stepping into the unknown. He's walking right off the ledge, and we are going with him. This is that uncharted territory that we were talking about just a minute ago. So, the Fool is often, a sign of a choice or a new beginning. Perhaps these convictions will provide a turning point in public opinion. Who knows? One can dream. So that's interesting. Two measures, which tend to be more definite versus minor arcana, the pips that you can affect the outcome. So our third card, aha, is the Two of Swords. And wow, if there's a card that will sum up the state of things up until this moment, the Two of Swords is probably it. So it's a difficult choice, or maybe not so difficult. It's a different kind of choice though than the one that the Fool might represent. So if you look at the way that this person is sitting, they've got these heavy swords up in front of them, and it's unwieldy. It's a difficult, neither option is a good option. If you drop one of the swords, you tip over. So it's a difficult, it's an impossible choice with two bad options. And we don't want to think about it. Our eyes are closed. We've blindfolded ourselves to the situation. And that's pretty much where we are, right? The poles are in a dead heat. People aren't paying attention because these two old guys, I'm so tired. We did this already. And the people who are plugged in are in that defensive crouch. And that's not a position that you really want to run strategy from. So this is significant. So where do we go from here? Let's take another card. And now we have the Knight of Wands. Now, knights indicate movement, and wands are fire, is the ruling element to wands. So we're getting somewhere where we've got some real energy on our side here, and we need to shake off those cobwebs and get going. Something needs to happen. The interesting thing though here is, now remember from the two we're disengaged. We're not really paying attention. So when you introduce the movement and the energy of fire, a knight is kind of an immature version of the energy of the element, not as mature and purposeful and well established as a king. So there may be some, let's call it mismatch between what is true and what is real, while the energy catches up with where everybody actually is. So we have one more card to go, and that card is the Three of Pentacles. Work, collaboration, getting together and making things happen. Like, for example, a jury. But to an even larger extent, we all have to live in the same society. And the thing that's interesting here is that means we have to decide what we value. Pentacles, that's a very Pentacles thing. People tend to think that Pentacles mean money, but it's really more of a what you value. Now, we are a polarized country, but I think most of us say we value freedom. We could get together with each other and figure out how to make these things happen. Find the places that we can collaborate. So that is the state of the 2024 campaign right now. Take a look from a different perspective. We are in unknown territory, closing our eyes to the situation, but it isn't going to make that isn't going to make it any better. So it's time to get moving towards achieving the things that we value. I've linked a few organizations in the description of this video. If you want to get involved, my personal favorite is Vote Save America. That is not because my political crush is Dan Pfeiffer, but we're going to put that aside for the moment and say, make sure that you're registered to vote. Get involved if you can. Either side, I don't really care as long as you stay engaged. Till then, and the next big news story that needs some input from the universe, I'm the Athena Witch brewing up potions and politics.